Hey class, welcome to week 9 of BUAD 201. This is your online week for this week. This week we're going to look into chapter 10 and we're going to discuss the persuasive message requirements, which is going to be your next in-class writing assignment. You're going to learn how to implement the AIDA strategy in a persuasive message. And as a reminder, you will have your next in-class writing assignment the next time we meet on Friday, April 6th. Now let's go over our syllabus. I want to make sure you have a good understanding of the few days coming up and what to expect. So right now we are currently in week 9 and we'll be discussing chapter 10. The following week you have spring break, so we won't have an online or a live class. You will have off that week. And then when we return from spring break on Friday, April 6th, you will have your negative message in class writing assignment. So the tasks for you to complete this week are make sure to read chapter 10 in your textbook, watch the weekly class video lecture below, which I am recording now. Make sure to complete your week 9 class activity, which if you scroll down, you'll see it right here. Also make sure to complete your chapter 10 Mind Tap homework. Make sure to complete quiz number 2 under the files attachments for this week below by Thursday, March 29th, 11:55 p.m. Make sure you complete it by this date. The quiz will cover chapters 7 through 10. There will be 5 questions. Each question will be either multiple choice or true false, and it is worth 2 points each question for a total of 10 points. And make sure to review your first in-class writing assignment, which is your direct message, with the notes from myself. Your direct message will be graded by March 29th. So I am going to release them as I grade them, but they will all be graded by March 29th. So please keep that in mind. I also wanted to let you know I'm actually hosting a Los Angeles Lakers business communication workshop for faculty and students at Cal State Fullerton. Our guest speakers are going to be 2 representatives from the LA Lakers organization. The event has yet to be announced, and this is on a first come, first served basis. So, since you're in my class and I am the host, I figured I would give you the first option to register. Remember, it's not required for you to attend, but it's definitely a great experience. And if you do want to attend, it's going to be on Friday, April 20th, 2018 at 1 o'clock p.m. in room SGMH 1308. Because this lecture hall is limited to the number of seats, it is going to be a first come, first served basis. So make sure to register here by clicking on this link. And when you do click on this link, a new window will open up where you will fill out your name, your email, and another question you'll have to answer. And you'll just answer that you're a student. Again, it's not required for you to go, but if you are interested, I would recommend registering for the event sooner rather than later. Given that this is the Lakers organization, I know this will fill up very fast, especially when the announcement is made to the entire business school at Cal State Fullerton, which should be, I believe, on Monday of this upcoming week. So if you are watching this or seeing this earlier, make sure to register so you can have priority registration and hopefully be able to get into this event. And if you have any questions, you can shoot me an email. Make sure to complete the following items before the start of week 11. Remember, no class during week 10 since it's spring break. Make sure to complete chapter 10 Mind Tap digital homework and prepare for your in-class writing assignment, which is your negative message. It will be either a letter, email, or memo format. You need to make sure that you know all 3 formats. So remember, your quiz needs to be completed by this Friday. You'll have 1 week to complete it, which we have up here. Make sure to complete it by Thursday, March 29th, 11:55 p.m. But your Chapter 10 digital Mind Tap digital homework is not due until our live class, which I believe it will be Thursday, April 5th, I believe. Let's actually take a look just to be safe. Yep, it's going to be due Thursday, April 5th, so you'll have an extra week to complete that. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to go over chapter 10, our persuasive lecture. Please make sure to open up your week 9 class activity as well. That way you can complete it as we go. If you have any questions, please let me know. So let's take a look at understanding persuasion in the digital age. So first, what is persuasion? Your book describes it as a symbolic process in which communicators try to convince other people to change their attitudes or behaviors regarding an issue through the transmission of a message in an atmosphere of free choice. So, what does this mean? It means pretty much that when you try to persuade someone, when you're using persuasion to persuade someone, you know that they have an option to change their mind or it's a free choice to do what they want to do. This is something that's going to take a lot of practice, especially in business writing. But as we continue to talk about it throughout this chapter and practice it, you're going to be able to have a better understanding of how to write a persuasive message. So, breaking down persuasion. So, it's a symbolic process. So, symbols are meaningful words, signs, and images infused with rich meaning. So, remember, persuasion isn't just about writing or speaking, it's also things that you may see that have a persuasive image towards you. And when you see that image, it's going to persuade you to do something or not do something. For example, if you went to the beach and you saw a sign that said, great white shark warning, that sign is probably, and it had a picture of a shark, or beware of sharks, that sign that you see is probably going to persuade you to not get into that water, at least for the majority of us. An ethical persuader understands the power of these symbols and does not use them to trick others. So make sure you want to be ethical, you want to be moral, especially when you're working in an organization and you're writing a persuasive message. You want to make sure to have your morals and ethics behind you because that's very important, especially since you're representing your business. And of course, because people's attitudes change slowly, sometimes persuasion just takes a little time. So you have to keep that in mind that you may not just persuade someone right away. It may take actually a little time. So let's take a look at some strong symbols of persuasion just to kind of give you an idea. So when you see this symbol, you understand that this is a strong symbol. You know that Apple is a good company. Even for those of you who may not be more of an Apple or Mac person, you do know that Apple has a good following. It's a very strong product, and it's a very strong symbol. And when you see this symbol, it may persuade someone to do something. It's almost like when Nike Plus and Apple combined to do their Nike Plus program through Apple. When Nike Plus used Apple on their products to show them that this is part of an Apple product now. That persuaded people to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and buy Nike Plus because obviously, if Apple backs them, it's going to be a good product. If you see this sign, this is going to tell you don't park here unless you have a handicap placard. You're not going to park in this in this parking spot. So this is another strong symbol of persuasion. Or finally, if you see this on the street, you're probably not going to park on the street because you don't want a dinosaur attacking your car. And of course, this is a fake sign. So let's break down persuasion. So persuasion involves an attempt to influence. Uh, it involves a concise effort to influence another person with the understanding that change is possible. Now, that's a key word, understanding that change is possible. For example, you have Mario. Mario's most likely not going to convince Koopa to get out of the way. This is Mario. This is King Koopa. Mario has to come over here and get this axe. If he sits here and tries to persuade Koopa, hey, can you move out of the way so I can get by? It's not going to work. So he understands in this case that change is not possible, and he's not going to move forward to try to persuade Koopa. Rather, he's just going to try to jump over him and get past him. So understanding this is completely the underlying factor of understanding if you can't persuade someone. If you know that change is not possible, you're not going to be able to persuade that person. So let's take a look at the four-part AIDA strategy your book discusses. This is extremely important because this is what I'm going to expect for you guys to use for your next in-class writing assignment. I want to see you guys use the four-part AIDA strategy. So you can blend all four steps into a seamless whole. The steps do not have to go in order, but merely all need to be completed depending on the situation. I'll give you a hint. When you're writing your persuasive message in class, the during week 9, you're going to have to use it in this order. That is just a hint I'm going to give you. Make sure you use attention, interest, desire, and action. And we're going to go ahead and talk about the 4 parts before we go ahead and do our first class activity. So whenever you're trying to persuade someone, you want to make sure you get their attention first. Getting their attention allows them to connect with the message that you're trying to say or the product you're trying to sell, whatever it may be. You want to make sure you can grab their attention. And there are multiple ways of grabbing someone's attention. You can ask them a question. You can state an interesting fact, and your book describes many examples. So let's look at asking them a question. Maybe you're trying to persuade someone to sign up for a voice control program that controls your voice on the computer and it automatically types for you. So maybe your question in this case can be, do your hands hurt from typing on the keyboard all day? If so, we got a product for you. That's a question gaining their attention. Or maybe a fact, did you know that voice control can pick up 99.9% of the correct words when you speak into the program? Or voice control provides an easy process of recording your voice and turning it into type on your computer so you don't have to type. Or over 80% of businesses use voice control, whatever it may be. But gaining their attention is completely the most important part, because now you're connecting them into the letter. Then gaining their interest, how do you gain their interest in this? So maybe you describe the product or service or what it is that you need to convince them of, that you're persuading them of. Get their interest to understand that, hey, there's an issue and you have a solution, and I'm going to go ahead and move forward with this product, because now you're creating the third step, a desire. Well, guess what? We have a solution for you in this case, and this is your desire. This is what you're going to want to do to move forward. And then, of course, an action item. Action item is another important part, because giving them an action item to complete lets them know what they have to do. It's almost like if I told you guys, as a class, hey, and I didn't have it on the syllabus, and I just said, hello, class, today we're talking about our APA report. Here it is. Your APA report is due towards the end of the semester. And that's all I told you. Well, what does that mean? When does, quote unquote, the end of the towards the end of the semester mean? Uh, you know, if I provide you an exact date, hey guys, your APA report is due on, this is a fake date, of course, but Wednesday, July 10th, or April 15th, whatever the date may be. I'm providing you an action of when you have to do it by, and that's something you need to do in your persuasive message as well too. Please respond to me by this date. This way I can make sure to get it completed. Whatever it may be, you need to give them a specific action item. So for your class activity 1, understanding the AIDA strategy is extremely important when writing persuasive messages. So for your activity, I want you to choose one of the 4 options of the AIDA strategy: attention, interest, desire, or action. And in 2 to 3 sentences, discuss what you would write or say for this option if you were in the following situation. You don't have to write exactly what you would use in the message, but just an overview of what you would include, just to give me an idea of knowing what you would write in this case. You don't have to write exactly what you would write, but just you can go ahead and write it out for me to understand. So your situation: you are writing a persuasive message to your boss requesting additional money for the marketing department you are currently working in. So if you write it with attention, how would you gain your boss's attention? If you use interest, what would you write to create an interest for your situation? If you chose desire, what desire would your boss have for funding this? Action: is there something you need your boss to do in order to make this happen? So I'll give you guys 10 minutes to complete this activity. Go ahead and pause this video lecture, and once you're ready to complete, go ahead and hit the play button, and we'll go ahead and start on the next slide of gaining attention and persuasive messages. So when you are gaining attention in persuasive messages, there's different ways you can go about. Like I said, question, stating a fact. You can use a problem description, an unexpected statement, a reader benefit. Maybe there's a benefit for them to use this product or to do what it is you need them to do. Maybe a compliment, a related fact, or even a stimulating question with the examples that I gave you. So make sure to go over all of these and have a good understanding, because your persuasive message will vary. Which one of these are you going to use in order to gain the attention when you're writing your next in-class writing assignment message. And remember, your next in-class writing assignment message will either be in letter format, memo format, or email format. So please make sure you know all the formats. So prompting action and persuasive messages. So after gaining attention and building interest, you want to inspire the audience to act. Remember, don't seem too pushy. So this is the fourth part of the AIDA strategy in prompting and action. You want to be effective. You don't want to be too general. Going back to the example of let's say your APA report. You don't want to be too general. Please get your APA report in by towards the end of the semester. That's a little too general. Too timid is, just if you can, please try to get your APA report in. Well, not if you can, or please try. This is something you need to do for your grade. So that's a little too timid, too pushy. Pushing you guys to try to do it too hard is going to be a little bit too pushy. For example, make sure to turn in your APA report by, Wednesday, July 10th. You need to turn it in towards this date. If you don't turn it in towards this date, you may fail this class. Failing this class may really lower your GPA. Now I'm getting a little too pushy with, trying to have you do it. Whereas something more effective would be, make sure to turn in your APA report by Wednesday, July 10th. This is something that will count towards your grade and is worth 100 points. It's something that's effective. It gives the idea of how many points it's worth, and you guys will know how it will affect your grade in your own. So for your class activity number 2, understanding how to depict the letter's persuasiveness is important because you can use the tools you read about in your personal and work life. So for your activity, read the persuasive organizational email message on page 10-4A of your online book. Now, if you want to use another persuasive message from your book, that's fine too. I just recommend using this one. Either one is fine. After reading it, look at the breakdowns in blue, describing each paragraph and section. In 2 to 3 sentences, write down one thing you have pulled from this letter which stood out to you about persuasive messages. For example, the letter uses the AIDA method and the action portion specifically stands out because of X, Y, and Z, whatever the reasoning may be. So with this lesson, I really want you guys to have a good understanding of the AIDA strategy because you're going to need to use this in your persuasive message. So again, if you have any questions whatsoever for this week, please let me know. I would like to remind you to register for this Los Angeles Lakers Business Communication Workshop because this will be a limited number of seats available. And once it is advertised to the entire business school, I almost am positive it will fill up within a few hours. So since you are in my class and I am hosting it, I am giving you the first right to sign up for it. Please only sign up if you do plan on going. Again, I wish you all the best of luck this week. If you have any questions whatsoever, you could contact me. Here is my mobile phone number right here. You can either email me, call me on my phone, or even shoot me a text message. Again, any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to ask. I wish you all the best of luck this week and enjoy your spring break.